Hey everyone, it's Random Noob, and today is my Week 2 recap video of the Paladins Premier League. There was only two games this week between Navi and Pittsburgh Knights and Pittsburgh Knights and Kanga, so not much action. Obviously, if you haven't seen the matches yet and you want to watch them spoiler free, probably close the video, but I know it's been a few days already, so most people have seen it or heard what happened. So starting off with Navi versus Knights. I don't have the spreadsheet this week, unfortunately. I'm blocking the. Let me move this quick. I'm blocking stuff. Blocking names. I don't want to do that. I did that last week. Someone let me know about it. Thank you, whoever that was. Can't remember off the top of my head, but thank you very much. All right, hopping into it. Overall, I think this was a really fun set to watch. I really enjoyed this set because a lot of people were giving Navi like some flack or like I guess they were giving Navi like some props for like, hey, we 2-forward Envy with the sub, like that's pretty nuts, right? Well, we were kind of getting some flack, but I just wanted people to know like Navi even with the sub is still like scary. Like shout out to Zarini, the guy's like actually like he's a nuts player, like he's crazy. So like I really just, want people to know that Zarini is definitely really, PPL caliber player, especially with a team like Navi around him who can kind of help him, explain him what he needs to do in the game. And like Phoenix, his stats don't look great, 35 and 26, but he played really well this set. Like he did exactly what he needed to do. And honestly, I think he really pushed the damage roll a little bit. That I wasn't really expecting. Like Navi really came out this week and pushed the meta really far. I know it was a new patch and people really didn't know, what was going on with it. But I think they pushed it super far and really, showed what a team can do with just like pure smarts. And I think honestly, the Knights and Navi got all the picks they wanted throughout the draft. Like I think the Knights got the exact same drafts they wanted and Navi got the exact same drafts they wanted every game. Like, they were just letting each other have exactly what they wanted. I think Navi kind of knew what they wanted more. Or, like, not that they knew what they wanted more, they just knew what was better, right? And they played it really well. And like I said, shout out to Zarini and especially Phoenix. Like, I think they both played insane for, what they had to go through this week. Also, Lazy was just, like, unkillable on cap. I don't know what, like, Navi does if they just support Lazy so well and just play around him so well that make him just unkillable. The guy's just like a bear god, dude. I don't know, man. He's just nuts. And Spunky really played really well this set as well. I think Navi just proved that they were, at least a top 2 team, if not the best team right now. I'd maybe with Mutu, I'd probably go as far to say they're probably better than us. Like they're just playing really well right now, and they're just so smart about the game. And I really like scrimming them because they're the only team I scrim where like I feel like they're really pushing us into like taking us to that next level, So it's a great team. In terms as the Knights went, like I think this was kind of expected. Like I put 4-1 on Twitter for my prediction for this, but really I kind of wanted to do 4-0. It was like a 4-1 out of respect because I think the Knights have been like improving at a decent rate, and I wanted to, I was thinking they'd probably get a map. Unfortunately, they ended up not getting a map. And the set wasn't like super close. Like the KDs don't look bad. Like let's look at Pan. Like 19 and 34. Like this looks like a close set, right? Like 13-23. Ricotta 27 and 32, almost like 1.0 KD. Kills the death. Not adding his obviously. But like the set looked close. Like even though Navi, won a lot of the games like pretty easily, I think it was a close set overall. Even though it was a 4-0. And honestly, like I think if Pan just played a little better, like his ults have been just a little whack this PPL season so far. If he gets those down, I think. Also, Cuss played Ferocity Grover. I don't know like why he thought that was good. That was probably a mispick. Maybe they just thought they had to do something like special to beat Navi, which is understandable. Like right, like they're one of the best teams in the world. You're gonna have to do something spicy they're not ready for if you're gonna want to win. But overall, through the set, I think Navi just looked more prepared, and they look like they knew what this patch was ready to bring. Like I don't think the Knights really looked prepared at all, to be honest. Like I said, they got the drafts they wanted, but I think those drafts are a little behind the meta a little bit. So we'll see what they do throughout the season, but for sure, Navi's looking really strong. I still think they're a top 3 team, if not maybe the best team right now. They even with Serini, and then now that they're getting Mewtwo back, they're a pretty scary squad. Like, not that I had to tell you guys that, but they're pretty scary. So we're moving on to the Kanga versus Knights set. So the Knights played 2 sets this week. The Kanga only won. So the Kanga had a little bit of an advantage getting to watch the Knights play, and like playing on land is really good, but like Kanga, they played last week. They kind of know what to expect. So maybe that extra game playtime really didn't play into it too much. So I think Kanga definitely had a huge advantage. They got to watch Navi beat the Knights. Like, here's the script. This is how you beat them. Follow it. Maybe, put your own little spin on it a little bit. But I think Kanga had a pretty big advantage seeing the Knights play the day before. And I think really, like, looking at the sets, the drafts, the map picks, it really felt like Kanga was more prepared. They came into like the set with a plan, and they knew a plan like would work, and they executed it really well. Vuli honestly like played the best I've seen him play in a long time. I mean, his KD doesn't look great, but I think his impact in the games was very high. And obviously it's Paladins, so KDs don't necessarily always reflect exactly how you played. Like Pan 52 and 38, like he had a really good set. They did have like some kind of sickness issues with G Money, which I don't know if that played into it, but for me, it kind of seemed like even though G Bunny was sick, they really didn't know how like the plan that they wanted. Like from what I understand from Knights, like Ricotta does more tournament drafting, but it seemed like with G Bunny being off, like the whole team was off all of a sudden, or it was something with like they lost the first map really hard and they just kind of tilted because they weren't expecting to lose the Kang. It just something seemed off with them. And I'm not saying just G Bunny, like their whole team seemed like as soon as they lost that first game, it was just like over. Like I think even though G Bunny was sick, they were probably still expecting to win the set, because of the trash talk and all that. You guys know all that stuff, but yeah, I think like overall, really like it was pretty like disappointing set for me from the Knights, like just across the board. Like I think Ricotta had probably his worst set this year. I think Payne played pretty well, to be honest. Like he had a few games where it was like iffy, but I think he was really just getting outdrafted. Like I think the Knights were putting him on picks that really didn't fit the meta that well in that position, while Kanga was getting picks that worked really well, and they were kind of taking advantage. And shout out to Payne for doing that well when, like I actually don't, what, now that I'm looking at this, I don't actually think this is Payne's KD. Is it? Did Payne do that well? I don't know if we can find the VOD here. I mean, yeah, I checked the VOD, the stats. I mean, Payne, stats-wise, played pretty well. I mean, like, throughout the set, like, watching, like, he had a good Bomb King. His Xin was pretty good. Like, I'm surprised he did really that great on Xin. Like, I think Zin's a pretty weak pick right now, overall. Like, I think you can make him work, obviously, but, like, for how good he did on Xin, that was pretty surprising. So, yeah, like, shout out to Payne. He definitely played this set really well. Like I said, with Ricotta, I think he had his worst set like he's ever played. Which I'm not saying he played bad. Like he played all right for sure, but like according to his level, like it's not according to his level. He could have played better for sure. But I do want to I don't really want to harp on how like bad and unprepared like the Knights were. I think like it was really shout out to Kanga. I think they played really freaking well. I think they really wanted this one, and they G Money was sick, so like. Who knows how much that affected his play? Like, he definitely didn't seem like himself 100%. But like I said, the team didn't seem like themselves. And, like, Kanga took advantage of that. They took advantage of the entire team not playing well. Like, I think Payne, like, just running through the set again, like, just refreshing in my mind, I think Payne played by far the best on the Knights. Like, it wasn't really close. I think a lot of people maybe were, trying to, like, what's the best word? Like, trying to adapt to G-Bunny, like, not being there 100% that day. And maybe, honestly, they should have played with the Vapor if G-Bunny was really feeling that bad. I'm assuming he's feeling better now because I really haven't heard much about it since then. But I really want to, shout out to Kanga because I think they played this set really well. I think Vuli, like I said, played his best set, like, in a while. Like, stats don't say everything. Like, I thought Payne, like, played this set, like, he played all right, Like, looking at the stats, maybe I'm starting to realize he did play really good. And, like, Vuli, I thought just from, like, watching him, he played amazing this set. And like his stat line maybe isn't as good, but I think overall like he brought so much to his team. And I also want to shout out to Osreno. I think he actually played really well on off tank. Maybe he's found a home on off tank a little bit that he hasn't had on main tank, because I think his main tank was kind of, maybe he just like likes the off tank role more, and I think it shows. I think Joel's is a solid main tank, so that's a pretty good switch to me, honestly. I really like that switch. So shout out to Kanga. Let me know what you guys think about these sets. It was unfortunate, you know, we didn't have the full Knights roster, like just 100% healthy, but that happens sometimes. That's why, like, when you talk shit, you never know what's gonna happen on game day. Like, one of your players could just not be feeling well, and then all of a sudden you lose a set. You drop a set to a team you think you're way better than, or whatever. Like, sometimes, you know, also, like, trash talking kind of come back and bite you in the butt a little bit. Like, if you think you're way better than a team and they take a map off, take game one off you, it really doesn't, like, feel well. You don't feel good about that, right? Like, you're not going into that game too, like, really excited. You're like, well, this team we're supposed to be better than beat us. Like, what do we do now, you know? So, overall, I think it was a really entertaining set this week. It was unfortunate G-Bunny wasn't feeling well. Hopefully he's feeling better now. I'm under the assumption he is. Who knows? Next week, it is a full week. Fortunately, we play against Virtus Pro and NIP, so make sure you guys check that out on Mixer on Thursday and Friday. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good video. I definitely got my thoughts out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about the games as always. I love to hear you guys' opinions. I love it. Love hearing you guys getting hyped about the games and stuff like that. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.